Hello everyone, I'm going to fill out the Canadian passport application for children under 16 years old in the video today. And in the next pages, we'll discuss about which information that we need to provide Passport Canada from the child, from the parent, and from the guarantor. Then we'll go over all the required documents that you need to send or hand it over to Passport Canada. And here is the required information from the child, from the parents, and from the guarantor. For the child, you will need to have the name, the date of birth, the country and city of birth of the child's eye color, and the height. The family's contact information like the address and the phone. The child's expired or going to expire Canadian passport number or travel document to get the number and the database sales, because that is one of the information that you will need to fill it in if applicable. And the child's birth certificate, that is a long form with the names of parents to get the registration number and the database sales, or the child's Canadian citizenship certificate to get the number and the date of its sales. And that is for the child. About the parents, you will need to have the name, date of birth, and the country of birth of both parents. Information from the parents like the phone address and email, and the marital status as well, and provide the marriage date if applicable. And for the guarantor, you will need to have the name, the date of birth, phone, and address of the guarantor. And of course, the person who is the guarantor for the child need to have the Canadian passport number with the date of issues and the date of expiry, and the relationship to the parents of the child. And of course, the guarantor needs to know the child's parents for at least 2 years and know the child. And he or she will need to sign in one of the photos of the child. And for some reason that you cannot fill out the form by the computer, then you will need to fill out in the paper base with the black or blue ink. Okay, so only black or blue ink are acceptable. For documentation, you will need to send the passport package to Passport Canada with the following documents. The first one is a signed form. Will be signed by the parents and the guarantor. That is the 2 pages signed form. And also you will need to send the original birth certificate and original citizenship certificate of the child, and 2 photos, and one of which is signed by the guarantor, and the valid passport or travel document issued to the child, divorce and custody if applicable. And the fee is $57 in Canada, or it depends on the options of express or urgent services. It costs more if you use those services. And how to apply? You can have an options of going in person to apply, or maybe sending out the mail by mail. So if you go in person, then you can hand it over the package to the agent over there with the passport program regional office in your city. You can Google that, or maybe in participating Service Canada Center. If you cannot go in person to apply, then you can mail out the applications. If you mail from BC or Yukon or Northwest Territories or Nunavut, then the passport program is in Mississauga, and you can see that on the screen now. Or if you send by mail from all other provinces and in the United States, then you will need to send that package to passport program in Gatineau in Quebec, Canada. And a lot of people choosing to mail out the package by courier to passport program in Gatineau, Quebec, Canada. So all of those addresses, I will put it in the description below, and please check it out. So now we are going to get the form and fill out the form together. So stay with me. In a Google tab, you can type passport application for child, and then you select on this link, and I'm going to put this link into the description. On this page, you can see how to apply for child passport in Canada. You can scroll it down, and then down here you can see the forms, the instructions, and the fees as well. And in here you may want to check in here so that you can see the option that you may have for your child passport. The first one is a standard, the second one is express, and the last one is urgent. The difference here is the date, like the time, like how many days that you can get the passport, and the fee, of course, is different. Like express, it costs more, and urgent, the most expensive one. However, no matter which options that you are selecting, but the forms is the same. So for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to click on the standard options from 10 to 20 business days plus meal time, so that we can get the form. All right. And answer the questions of who you are applying for, of course, for my child, so that I select on the child. But if you apply for a child being adopted or in foster care inside Canada, then you select on these options. But in my case, I select for my child, for my son. And the next question is, how do you want to apply? It doesn't matter if it is in person or by mail, the forms is the same. So I just select on the in person so that I can get the form. The next question is, was the child's most recent passport lost or stolen or damaged or none of the above? I select on the none of the above. And then after that, you can see the form from 1 to 5. Number 1 is the form. And from number 2, 3, 4, 5, please refer to the previous session that I provided before. Let's click on this link so that we can download the form and then fill out the form together. Here's the form. Okay, I downloaded it and I fill it out already. So we can go over all the sections in the form. The first one is the child's personal information. We can fill out all the name with the last name and first name and the name that she or he used before, and the place of birth in here, and the country of birth, and then the province. This one is only for the person, for the child who was born here in Canada. And if you don't know about the date that the child will travel, and then you can put click on the unknown in here, and the date of birth of the child, and the gender, like John is a male, is a boy, and the eyes color, I put it as black. The height is 123 centimeter, for example. And the current home address, you can put the home address here, the city, the province, and the postal code. And in here, the mailing address, if it is different from the current home address. And in this one down here, the signature, you don't need to sign anything because that is for the child. You never sign for the child, okay? So if the child is under 16 years old, it's not required to sign. Province date in here, province in here, and the date in up here, down here. The second part is the information on applicant parents or and other parents. This question they ask if the child is currently the subject of an adoption process, blah blah blah, but no, it doesn't apply to my case. Or you can read it and then to see if it apply to your case, your situations or not. And number 2 is, are there any separations, agreements, court orders, or legal proceeding, blah, 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 blah. And then if the parents live together and in the marriage, marital status as married, then say no. And then put it here as married, and you can put the date of the marriage here. And then applicant, it means the person, the parent, one of the parents who signed the application for the child. So that is called applicant. And the other parent or legal guardian, and put it here. For example, in my case, my name is Mary, and then Mary Smith, and I put the date of birth and the country of birth and the home, the telephone number, and the email address. And for the other parents, that is my husband or the child's father, we can put it in Adam Smith and the date of birth and country of birth, the address and phone number and the email address. And then after that, we can print it out and sign it in here. The parent who signed for the child sign here, and date and the city. And about the other parent sign here and date and the city that he or she signed in here. Number 3, that is a previous Canadian travel document. You have it for your child before, then you select the yes and then put down the number in here and the date of issue in here. However, in my case, it is the first passport, so I select on the no. So if you have yes and then put the number here and then click select on the yes, please return it to me. So that is number 3. And let's go down to number 4, the proof of Canadian citizenship. There are 2 options. The first one is Canadian born. The second one is a certificate of Canadian citizenship. So if the child was born in Canada, they're supposed to have the birth registrations and then put it in here, and the date of issues in here in this line. However, in my case, my child was born in the other country, so I put it in as the certificate of citizenship with the number in. I put it in here, and the date of issues in here. So again, it depends on your situations on the child, for the child. And number 5, it is the declarations of applicant. So again, the applicant is not for the child. The applicant is one of the parents who signed the application for the child. So in my case in here, me, Mary Smith, who applied the passport on behalf of my son. His name is John Smith, and the relationship to the child is the mother. I'm his mother. And then after that, I sign in here in the signature of applicant, and I date in here and the city and the province that I sign. So that is number 5. And number 6, that is the clear declarations of guarantor. So that person need to have the name, the last name, the first name, the date of birth, and the Canadian passport number. And put down here the date of issues for the passport and the date of expiry as well. And the relationship to the parent of the child. And the phone number in here, the home address in here, and the city and the province and the postal code. And full name of the applicant. So it means that the full name of the child's mother in here, or maybe the child's father if he signed the applications. But in my case, I signed the application, so the full name applicant, it means that the name of myself, I'm Mary Smith. And of course, need to have the full name of the child. His name is John Smith. And in here, you can, whenever it is print out, and then the guarantor can put down the years that they know me, at least 2 years, okay? And then the signature of that guarantor and the date in here and the city that he signed and the province that he signed. That is number 6 for guarantor. And number 7, that is emergency contact information if the child requires emergency assistance while outside of Canada here. Okay, so that is all the form. So in the next pages, like from 3 to 9, it is only the instructions. The form is only 2 pages. The first one and the second one. The first one need to sign by both parents, and then the second page, it need to be signed by one of the parents who signed for the child, and the signature of the guarantor. Okay, so for the guarantor, it needs to sign in one of the photo, and then you can look at the photo like this. The photo, the first, the front, and then at the back. At the back, the guarantor has to write down the name of the child, and then he or she will sign in here as a guarantor's signature on here. And that's it for today. And I hope that when you apply for a passport, you can get the passport very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.